Our hymn of the day for the seventh Sunday of Easter is All Hail the Power of Jesus' Name, using the tune Coronation. E.P. Scott certainly understood the power of Jesus' name. Amos Wells tells his story, perhaps apocryphal, in his 1914 A Treasury of Hymn Stories. In his account, Reverend Scott set off as a missionary to the Nagas, a tribe of headhunters in remote mountainous Assam, India. As he neared their land, he was suddenly surrounded by natives who pointed their weapons at him. He expected a quick death, but he sat down and pulled out his violin, prayed, and began to sing All Hail the Power of Jesus' Name, and sang it in their native language. When he reached the stanza, let every tribe and every tongue on this terrestrial ball crown him Lord of all, the tribesmen, some in tears, lowered their spears, and Scott spent the rest of his life ministering to these Naga people. Whether this is history or myth, one thing is for sure, we do know that Perronnet wrote the words. Edward Perronnet was born in 1726, the descendant of French Huguenot family who first fled to Switzerland and then to England to escape religious persecution. He migrated to the Church of England through Methodism and finally became a congregational minister. In 1757, he published The Mitre, his pungent and humorous satire of ecclesiastical opinion. John Wesley didn't like it very much and had it suppressed, even though Perronnet was closely associated with the Wesley ministry. Methodists at that time were being persecuted, and Wesley tells us that Edward Perronnet was thrown down and rode in mud and mire. Stones were hurled, windows broken. He was so covered with mud that it was hard to tell who he was. Perronnet's hymns were published anonymously in several volumes. First, his select passages of the Old and New Testament versified in 1756. Then a small collection of hymns, etc., in 1777. And finally, 1785's Occasional Verses, Moral and Sacred, published for the instruction and amusement of the candidly serious and religious. The third hymn in this Occasional Verses is All Hail the Power of Jesus' Name. In 1787, another clergyman, John Rippon, published an amended version that more resembles the words that we have today, published in his collections of psalm and hymn text. Oliver Holden is our tunesmith. He was born in 1765 in Shirley, Massachusetts, and was trained as a carpenter. He then served as a Marine in the Revolutionary War aboard the frigate Dean. In 1783, he became interested in music composition and settled in Charleston, Massachusetts in 1785. When George Washington visited Boston in 1789, Holden wrote the lyrics and score of an ode that greeted Washington at the old State House. Holding post in the Anti-Slavery Society and serving in the Massachusetts House of Representatives, he published his music in the American Harmony of 1792, the Massachusetts Compiler of 1795, the Worcester Collection of 1797, Plain Psalmody in 1800, and the Charleston Collection of Sacred Songs in 1803. Coronation was published in Holden's Union Harmony of 1793 and is one 18th century American tune that has been consistently popular. In fact, it was translated into almost every existing language. Bing Crosby included it in his 1951 album, Beloved Hymns. Holden died in Charleston in 1844, Coronation being one of his most popular tunes. All Hail the Power of Jesus' Name is said to be the earliest American hymn tune still in general use.